So I think we're live. Oh, I didn't see you there, Paul Asante. Well, good evening to you as well. So let's see. Good evening, Rai, Ramesh, Paul, Renyard, Cheyenne, Malem. It's good to see all of you. Okay, and Count Beauty, perfect timing as usual. Good evening, Abira. Good to see you. Okay, we're going to carry on and finish the article I've been doing for the past couple of weeks. It's a question of finding the right word to fit into the gaps. Good evening, VG. Good to see you. And here I've got the last one from last week's live stream. Yeah, here we have, could it be the landmark breakthrough revelation watershed detectives are waiting for? The bag is sent for a forensic analysis. This is a BBC article about a week in the life of a London murder detective. And here the right answer was breakthrough. Okay, a watershed is a really big, important event. What's up, Vitaly? Great to see you. A revelation is something important that you discover that you didn't know before, and a landmark's and something important on the way to an objective most normally, or it could be a huge building as well. Okay, so yeah, people are coming in. It's taking a little while. I get a feeling that YouTube is very busy tonight. Yo, left or right, good to see you. I love this. So, sup from Italia, yo from left or right. These are really, really interesting phrases for you to learn. So, Vitaly sup talks about what's up. Yeah, what's up, what's happening. And yo, this is something they say in the United States. Yo, good, saying good evening. So, hi there, Elizabeth Bennett, and good evening, Edward Rance as well. Okay, so it's good to have you with us. Okay, so I guess we're going to continue with Detective Chief Inspector McHugh. Revelation, epiphany. Yeah, it's when you discover something you didn't know. It was a revelation when I discovered that the politician was stealing public money. Yeah, so I stopped voting for him. Yeah, an epiphany. I like that word, epiphany. In English, epiphany is the 6th of January, but most people don't know what it means, although here in Spain they celebrate it. Yeah, that's very good, Victor Gabriel. Try both of those. They both sound a little bit American, but they're really good ways of saying hi. Okay, so we're starting already. We got votes for chairs. Detective Chief Inspector McHugh presides, officiates, moderates, chairs an office meeting. It's a great opportunity to piece, fragment, segment, compose the jigsaw together in the inquiry. His main focus is preparing for another appeal about the Barnet burglary. The suspects have yet to be identified. So, okay, Ramesh goes for officiated. Most other people are going for chairs, and there are quite a lot of pieces as well. So, Ramesh and Abira, what is the preposition that we would use with officiate? Notice here there is no preposition. Yeah, and that tells you which one of these it must be. Okay, so to officiate, okay, so Renyard goes for chairs and peace, left right goes from chairs and peace. So preside, what's the preposition with preside, and what's the preposition with officiate? And also probably moderate as well. Hello Paolo, good to see you. Okay, so what about these prepositions? To preside, what? And to officiate, or to moderate, And I think the officiate can either have the preside one or the moderate one. Thank you very much. So, Melem and Vitaly, to officiate at an office meeting, exactly. To preside over an office meeting. And moderates doesn't take a preposition. And I think it could just about fit. But the answer for the first one is clearly chairs. To chair means to act as the chairman. No, moderate doesn't need a preposition. You could, Victor Gabriel, you could say moderate at if you want, but he can moderate a meeting as well. So it has to be either chairs or moderates. Yeah? Okay, good evening, Adam. What to do all those... So, to preside, to preside over a meeting, to be the president, to be the person in charge. Normally, to preside over a meeting, it has the same meaning as to chair. To officiate, this is more normal in a ceremony. A priest officiated at the wedding. Yeah, there were judges officiating in the competition. To moderate means to tell people what they can and can't do. Yeah. Yes, moderate is transitive, definitely. And then to chair, to be the chairman of. Okay, we've got lots for peace as well. Notice this preposition together, or is it an adverb? I think it's probably an adverb. Okay, so to fragment together. No, to fragment means to separate. I think this is a bit of a one of these pairs of words that are opposites. Fragment is apart. Segment, this is to talking about business. You have segmentation, and segmentation is splitting something into pieces. To compose, we normally compose music, or we compose a composition, an essay, to write. So it's definitely piece together. This is a very good word. He pieced together the mystery. Yeah, here the jigsaw, a jigsaw puzzle. You need to put the pieces together. He needed to piece together all the clues in order to come to the right answer. Yeah, he pieced together the different pieces of information. A fragment to fragment. A fragment to fragment. A fragment to fragment. So yes, different pronunciations. A fragment, noun, stress on the first. To fragment, stress on the second part. Okay, so let's continue with this. Sometimes when there's a lot of competing news, there's lots of news in the newspaper, one of the difficulties for detectives is maintaining media coverage over a case. I guess fatigue. Fresh cuts, snippets, shreds, crumbs about the crime, photographs and quotes from relatives can help to keep it in the public eye and stimulate, support, magnify, boost the chance of getting information. Okay, so we've got our first votes coming in. Peas as opposed to peace. Exactly. Peas, peace. Okay, so we've had now 2 votes for snippets, 1 for cuts. What are people saying about I? Yes, people like the idea I, and they like the idea boost. Here. So Ramesh goes for cuts, snippet or snippets, I, boost or stimulate. Here, like finding money in a winter coat. Here, that's a wonderful surprise. Yeah? Wonderful surprise. Yeah, like finding money in a winter coat. I know, I get it. So, left or right goes for snippets, eyes and boosts. So, good evening, Pepax. It's good to have you with us. Okay, so, let's see. Crumbs, this last word, normally crumbs of bread or cake crumbs or something like that. Shreds are normally maybe torn up pieces of paper or cloth. So I would say fresh crumbs of information or fresh shreds of information. Cuts, no, it doesn't work. Fresh cuttings, but a snippet, a cut or a snippet of news. This is the collocation. Yeah, so a snippet is a little bit of information. Let me give you a snippet of gossip. Okay, so a snippet, it's like somebody has snipped it out of the newspaper. Yeah, let's see, you guys all are pretty good. So we have to do something difficult, otherwise it's too easy for you lot. So the right answer is snippets. SNIPPETS. With related to cuts, you could have a cutting, but that's a cutting just from a newspaper, something you cut out. But a snippet of information, yeah, it's something that you cut off with a pair of scissors. Okay, so yes, you're all pretty sure about the public eye. Yeah, that looks pretty good, Renyard, for eye as well. Not in the public ear, but in the public eye. If something's in the public eye, everybody's looking at it. So I guess 9/11 is in the public eye at the moment, and maybe the US withdrawal from Afghanistan is also in the public eye. Okay, yeah. So, a snippet of hair was used for the voodoo doll. That's quite good. Public ear, no, you don't. We don't say in the public ear. Something's in the public eye. Hair. Okay, eye is correct, but intuition tells me ear. So, eye is correct, and your intuition is wrong, Pepax. Okay, so something's in the public eye. So let's look at this. Stimulate, support, magnify or boost. Okay, I think magnify it can't be. You magnify something to make it bigger so you can see it. You use a magnifying glass. Can you magnify that? Could you multiply it by 2? Yeah, or you have a photograph. Ah, the snipping tool is there in Windows 10. That's quite good. Yeah. Okay, thank you for coming just for the beginning, Ramesh. Great to see you. Okay, so it's not magnify. To support the chance. If it needs support, it sounds like it's falling and falling. Yeah, you support something that's going down. Okay, to stimulate. Maybe coffee stimulates you in the morning. This is a stimulating conversation. I guess it could just about work, but boost the chance. This is the answer. So, to boost a chance, to boost is to push something up rapidly, to increase rapidly. So this exercise is designed to boost your vocabulary. Huh. Can play on words using the public ear when okay, to keep their audience up to date. It's boost, not stimulate. Stimulate might just work, but I think maybe if we're stimulating the chance, there was absolutely no chance of in the beginning, whereas boost gives the idea of increased rapidly. Oh, scumbag's a really good word, left or right. Yeah, boost then, absolutely, Pepax. Okay, and okay, yes. So to boost, this is to boost your wonderful vocabularies, to increase. I need to find a boost, a boost to my energy levels. A cup of coffee will give me a boost. I like that, Elizabeth. To boost sales. Yeah, advertising boosts sales. Or maybe if you want to climb over a fence, you ask your friend to give you a boost. He puts his hands like this. You put your hand and he boosts you over. Or a booster rocket for a booster stage for a rocket to send it up rapidly. Good evening, Maria. So, lots of votes for back. At the same time, some details may be held back, in, by, over, on, either because they're too sensitive or to give detectives an advantage when they come to question a subject. So, lots of votes for back. That's correct, Mia Mikkonen, to boost. Yes, because it gives you lots of energy left or right, and that's the idea. Okay, so let's look at these then. To hold on, to wait, hold on a second, yeah? Would you hold on while I go and get my money? To hold over, maybe the bit of this exercise we're doing was held over from last week. To keep for next time, so I'll hold that over for you. To hold by doesn't exist. And to hold in, okay, I hold in my breath. But to hold back, to delay, to delay or not to give, yeah? So I held back, yeah? It's to hold back. I would like to hold back some pieces of information. I would like to hold some money back for tomorrow and not spend it all today. Let's see, you hold in your breath, yeah? Okay, so to keep inside, but to hold back is not to give everything that you've got. Yeah, don't act too soon. Hold back for a few days and you'll have a much more effective result. Yeah, hold back. Don't do it now. Act later. Yeah, or maybe even I was held back in school. Yeah, the teacher held me back and put me in detention. Yeah, or the police were holding the crowd back. Okay, so to hold back. To not to use, to keep for later. Yeah. Okay, so Detective Chief Inspector McHugh finalises the text of a press release about Ms. Wales' death, which declares police are officially processing, addressing, dealing, treating it as a case of manslaughter. So manslaughter is involuntary homicide with guilt or with some of the responsibility for the fact that this person died. If you're negligent and somebody dies, that could be manslaughter. Hold on for your lives. Yes, hold on and don't let go. Hold on to my hand. So this is interesting. We've got votes for treating and addressing. That's quite interesting. There's one that it definitely can't be. Hold back your money for a black day. I would say for a rainy day, Renya. Hold back your money for a rainy day. Okay, so Elizabeth goes for processing. This is very interesting. Okay, nobody's gone for dealing, and that's quite obvious because we'd need a preposition here to deal with. The police are officially dealing with it as a case of manslaughter. So deal would work fine if there was a with. Okay, so we're getting more votes for treating now. Okay, so to process. I guess processing it as a case of manslaughter would work, but if they're processing, they're putting it through the system. Okay, to address is the way you deal with something. Whereas treating means to consider. Yeah? So I am addressing this problem. I'm confronting it. Yeah? Or more normally, you address a person. How are you today? Treating also means to give treats. Yes, in this case, treating is also a synonym, as Vitaly said, for regarding. T-R-E-A-T. So notice, to treat something as, yeah, to consider it as, yeah. Addressing, this would be more the type of action that they take to deal with the problem. We need to find a way of addressing this problem, of confronting it, yeah, of finding a solution to it. Whereas treating, regarding, considering is better. And then processing, doing work on it. Okay, they're treating it as a case. Then official inquiry is a process. It is a process, but in this they're still investigating. When they come to conclusions, they will process the case. The person will be processed and go through the courts. With law processing, it talks much more about the legal things that happen afterwards. Are regarding it as, exactly left, right, are treating it as. Addressing, apprising. Appraising, you mean, Pepax. Okay, to address, it talks about more to do with the way you do something. How should we address this problem? What way should we tackle it? To address talks about the way you do it. To process can also mean to deal with emotional pain or with bad memories. Yes, Renyard. It's very difficult to process the terrible things that happened to him. Okay, so, read the news, to inform. Okay, so to treat something as, to consider it as, are regarding it as. Okay, processing could work, but I think they're not processing it yet. The courts will process the criminals. Okay, he puts together an utterance, testimony, bulletin, communique, statement from Ms. Wales' nephew Lawrence and her niece Gina. So I think here probably two of them fit quite well. And Vitalia has gone for the less formal one. Okay, we've got 3 votes for statement now. So, while we're waiting, what's an utterance? An utterance. Okay, so while we're waiting, let's look at a few of these. So, Malem goes for a statement. Good evening vibes, string together a statement. Yes, they're trying to put it together. Elizabeth goes for testimony, Adam for statement, Maria Mikkonen for utterance, Renyard for testimony, Count Beauty for testimony, Paolo for testimony. This is interesting. Notice this is her nephew Lawrence and her niece Gina, and neither of them were present when she died. Yeah? So, let's see. Let's look at a few of these. Okay, a bulletin is something that's normal information that is given regularly. A news bulletin. There is a news bulletin every couple of hours. To utter, to say, to pronounce, good. Okay, yeah, a little whisper is an utterance, or a grunt. Yeah, is also an utterance. To utter is to make a sound. Okay, so a communique, well, so it's not a bulletin, and it's not an utterance. Testimony is when somebody testifies. So the testimony of the witness. If they had been witnesses, then testimony also. He puts together testimony. Also, testimony is uncountable. This would be pretty illegal. Well, wouldn't put it past them. But testimony is evidence. Yeah, if somebody gives testimony, they say, I was present and I saw what happened. It's also called impact statement in legal parlance. Okay, I like that, very good. Yes, let's see, a communique, it would fit. It's a rather formal word, and normally it's very official. Like a little whisper or to mutter. Both of those are utterances, left or right. An information bulletin, a news bulletin, absolutely. So really the best answer here is statement. I think communique is probably a bit formal, but it also fits. Yeah. The ambassador received an official communique from the North Korean embassy. Yeah, okay, and here we have their statement. So, addressing, no, it's not addressing. What was the answer to that one? Are treating it as, Paul. Okay, so yes, they're treating it as. Okay, the next one. It's heartbreaking, so this is their statement, this is what they say. It's heartbreaking that our Aunt Maureen is no longer with us. This last week has felt like a nightmare, they say. This must have been a truly terrifying ordeal, misery, affliction, burden for her. All we can think about now is of how vulnerable and scared she must have felt. So, bang, 4 votes for ordeal. Left or right, Vibes, Malem, Cheyenne, and Vitali. That makes 5. So, is this going to be a landslide for ordeal? Yeah. So, what does Pepax say? If those people were a queen whale and a Princess Gina, then it could have been a communique. Yes, absolutely. Sherwin, good evening. Great to see you. You choose ordeal. Count Beauty chooses ordeal. Maria Mikkonen chooses ordeal as well. So we've got a landslide for ordeal. Abira goes for ordeal as well. Okay, so let me put you out of your misery. Firstly, misery is uncountable. Yeah, so A can't be. She must have suffered real misery. No. An affliction is normally a disease. Yeah, he's suffering from an affliction. Yeah. Sometimes they call a person an affliction jokingly, like a disease. And a burden is something heavy that you carry. Okay, ordeal is the right answer. O-R-D-E-A-L. An ordeal is a really difficult time, something really hard and painful, maybe both emotionally or physically, that you have to pass through. A burden is a problem, is something heavy that you carry. Yeah? So when you're worried about something, it's a burden, or you have a lot of debt, that's a burden. It must have been a terrifying burden for her. It might just work, but I don't like it. Burden talks more about responsibility, a difficult responsibility that you've got to meet. Here. No, burden is countable. A burden. Yeah, an affliction, a malady, an illness. But this is an ordeal, a really painful experience. Yeah, a really painful experience is an ordeal. So I think maybe for many people suffering from COVID has been an ordeal. A guilty secret is a burden. Yes, that's quite good, left or right. Yeah, it's something that you have to carry with you on your conscience. Your conscience is burdened by your guilty secret. Okay. She was a private, independent woman who was extremely proud and didn't deserve to die in this way. We prod, urge, suggest, coerce people to come forward. The police need the names of those responsible. So we've got lots of votes for urge. That looks quite interesting. So let's look at some of these. Count goes for urge as well. So Vibes, Malem, Vitali, Cheyenne, Pepax, Left or Right, and Count Beauty, and Elizabeth, and Abira all go for urge. Okay, I think that's a pretty good answer because the structure is good as well. So, and Sherwin goes for urge, and Adam goes for urge, and Renyard goes for urge. That's brilliant. One of the things I've noticed, it takes quite a while from when you actually type it in and go enter to when it actually appears. But that's valid for all of you, probably for me as well. Well done, Kawar. Here. Okay, private. It gives the idea that she didn't want people to know her affairs, and she valued her privacy a lot. She wasn't a very social person. She was rather private. Okay, so to urge somebody to do something. That's good, Elizabeth Bennett. That's the idea. Okay, statement is the correct answer, Paul, there. So, good evening, Nora. Urge is correct, and Vinod, that's correct as well. Okay, I haven't seen Manji in here. She came earlier. She said she'd had her a COVID vaccine and she wasn't feeling very well. Yeah, like reserved, private. So to coerce means to force somebody to do something. If you don't go to the party, I'm going to beat you up. That's to coerce. If you don't vote for me, I'll burn your house down. That's to coerce. To coerce somebody into doing something. The mafia coerced him into paying protection money. The judge was coerced into finding the person not guilty. Yeah, that's to coerce. So we suggest. To suggest that somebody do something. We suggest that people come forward. So the structure's wrong. To prod. This is easy. I've trained you up. No, this is not easy. This is pretty difficult, but your level is pretty good. Okay, so to prod. Yeah, I prodded my friend. I prodded him with a stick. Yeah, to coerce, to force, exactly, Vinod. Yeah, okay, so yeah, to prod. I prodded my friend when he was being when he was putting his foot in it. Yes, suggest is one of the subjunctive verbs. I suggest that he come. I suggest that we be there early. Urge is like want. Yes. Okay, to urge, to suggest, to push, but to urge is please do it, but to coerce, do it or else. Yeah, so to urge is suggest strongly that somebody does something. That's it exactly, Malen. You prod someone sitting next to you with your finger. Yeah, he prodded me with a stick. To prod someone's conscience, that works, Vibes, but the other day we had this verb to prick somebody's conscience, and that's a better collocation. Okay, Khalid, we urge people to come forward, exactly. Yeah. Okay, I'm glad you like the coerce examples. English vibes is force someone to do something or force someone into doing something. Both work. Light a fire under somebody. To motivate. Okay, so Tuesday. Detective Chief Inspector McHugh and his team are officially off call, at leisure, at liberty, on holiday at 7 a.m. It's meant to be their rest day, but it's cancelled because they're out in the Barnet area publicising their appeal. We've never had that Tuesday off in all the time that's been there because we keep getting investigations, he said. So, this one's interesting. Good. So we're getting, okay, votes for on holiday, votes for at liberty. This is interesting. So I'm going to wait for some more of these to come through. So Elizabeth goes at liberty, Nora's still not committing herself, Count Beauty goes on holiday, Leferite goes on call. So off call. Pepax, but holidays are over. Paolo goes off call and Sherwin goes off to call. This is a tough one. This is definitely a tough one. Do I have summer holidays? Well, I did have nearly a week in the middle of August, but my lifestyle is normally one great big holiday, and the things I do for work I actually really enjoy. So Malem's going for off call, Adam's going for off call, Pepax is going for off call. So we started with lots of holidays and off duty. Off duty sounds much better. I quite agree with you, left or right. Okay, Nora goes for at liberty. Okay, so I think I'm going to start discussing these then. If you're at liberty, normally I'm at liberty to do this. I have permission to do this. Yeah, you could give a prisoner his liberty. I'm at liberty to tell you a few private comments. So at liberty, no, means allowed to do something or free from a certain restriction. If you're on holiday, it means you're not working, yeah? These are days off work. These are holiday days. It's not that either, because they're not on holiday. It's their day off, as Leferite put. They're off duty. Okay, at leisure means relaxing. So when you're on holiday, you're at leisure. But here they're off call. So I want to read what Pepax has got because it's good. Off call because they went to investigate as I got it, and except they are workaholics, they do not see it as a holiday. Okay, so they were on call, yeah, and when you're on call you have to go when called. They used to have these pages, yeah, where people were on call. A doctor is on call, so he might be at home, but if the phone goes off, then he needs to go. He spends his day picking apples. So the right answer here is off call and off call. Yeah, I would probably just say, and his team are officially off. It's their day off. Yeah, but here they're off call, so they can do what they want. I guess maybe they're at leisure, but off call is a much more official thing. Nobody's going to call them up and make them do it. Yeah, but they're off call. Okay, so let's move to the next one. And Google account. What's the meaning of heart sinking of disappointment means really depressed. If your heart sinks, you thought you were going to earn a lot of money and then the contract gets cancelled. You think your team's going to win and suddenly they lose. Yeah, it's a heart-sinking disappointment. I thought I was going to win a huge prize in the lottery. Yeah, but I received a heart-sinking disappointment because it didn't happen. So, incommunicado. Normally incommunicado, you are keep somebody incommunicado. They're incommunicado, they're off call. I guess it works. So, let's see. He says, during the inquiry into the murder of Mohammed Adam Mohammed, some of his team didn't have a day off for 20 days. And I like day off better than off call. They evidently, apparently, patently, manifestly slept on the floor of the office, he says, along with the mice. All in a week's work for a murder detective. And this is the very last one in this article. So, wow, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 votes for apparently from Vibe, Cheyenne, Leferite, Count and Mlem. So, my heart sank with disappointment. Heart-sinking disappointment is a noun. And also, Maria goes for apparently and Pepax goes for patently. I like these 4 words because they're clearly different. Yes, they do, left or right. Yes, apparently you lost the money. I think you pocketed it. Okay, and Nora goes for patently, and Renyard goes for patently, and then we've got Adam, Abira, Kwa, and Google going for apparently. So, what's the difference in meaning between these words? Because I think this is quite good. Let's start with the last one. Manifestly. So, manifestly means there is evidence to prove it. Okay, and Sherwin goes for evidently. So, manifestly, there is obvious evidence they did it. There were their smelly socks all over the floor of the office, or something like that. Pepax is going for evidently. So, patently, if you do something patently, it's obviously, very clearly. Evidently means it's a bit like manifestly, means there is evidence to show it. Yeah, it is evident, we can see it. Whereas apparently is what I believe is true. It's like second-hand information, but I don't know it's true. So, in my opinion, apparently is the best answer. R-E-N-T-L-Y. And I think evidently also fits, because evidently, yes, it does talk about evidence, but we can also use it with the meaning of apparently, as in this is what people told me. So apparently or evidently. Yeah, and I think they both fit. Apparently, I think, was the one they used in the original article. A patent lie. Let's see, is patently. No, he is patently in favour of this idea. So it's not negative. It just means very clearly, very obviously. This painting is patently a forgery. I can see it's been signed by Mr. Bean. Yeah? So patently means it's completely obvious. This answer is patently wrong. Yeah? With most of these, there is no answer that is patently right. Evidently according to evidence, and apparently is what people say. Wolf, eugenics and euthenics. I'm gonna have to think about that one. Eugenics is very clear. Euthenics, I would need to check. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the last one in this, and all of this comes from this news article. Correct, Paul. Correct. It is off call. Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so now, wait a second, I want to paste this here. Patently collocates strongly with adjectives. This is patently absurd, this is patently obvious, clearly, obviously. So, you lucky people, I'm going to start the next one. Okay, this is about Eamon de Valera. Eamon de Valera was an Irishman. I'm not going yet. Yeah, I'm going to stay for another 15 minutes. So Eamon de Valera, he was the first president of Southern Ireland, of IRA, and he helped free Ireland. And this article is about how a fruitcake helped Eamon de Valera escape Lincoln Prison. So, let me just get this in the right position. Here. Yes, there is more VG, just a little bit. It's just to introduce the next one for you, give you a little taste of it, and maybe people will read it as well. Here, I love this word, yay. Eugenics deals with race improvements through heredity. Euthenics deals with race improvements through environment. Wow, thank you for that, Pepax, that's great. Yeah, I remember. I'm going to be very careful this week. There was a moment before we started, so let me read this. Eamon de Valera went on to become one of Ireland's most influential statesmen, but his politics were not the only thing that earned him a place in the history books. Exactly 100 years ago, he was also the director, mastermind, manager, mind of an audacious prison crack, dash, smash, break involving cake, candles and a cartoon on a postcard. So I think these first two are really quite easy. Yeah. Okay, so lots of votes for mastermind and break. So what the second one, what's the name of the series? Yeah, what was the name of the series about somebody escaping from jail? Yeah, it was called Prison What? Okay, so Elizabeth also agrees with them. I think there's going to be a landslide for these. Okay, Count Beauty goes mastermind and break. Nora goes mastermind. And let's see what else. Who else? Okay, Anura goes for break. Renyard goes for mastermind and break. Abira goes for mastermind. Pepax goes for break and mastermind. And Sherwin goes for mastermind and break. VG goes for break. Abira goes for break. Absolute complete landslide. So the mastermind, if you do it, yeah, absolutely, Kawar. That was the name of the series. So the mastermind, the criminal mastermind, because breaking out of prison is actually an illegal act. The director of a company, the director of an orchestra, maybe even the director of a school, the manager of a company. Yeah, no, the mastermind of. He was the mastermind. The mastermind is normally the intelligent criminal. Moriarty is the mastermind who wants to beat Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, Mastermind is a TV show where they ask really difficult questions. Prison break is a collocation. He broke out of prison. A prison break. Exactly. Prison break. So let me just write these. Mastermind and prison break. Let's see, a crack. Well, in Irish, a crack is something that's when you're having a good time. Or maybe you could crack a safe. You turn the wheels and listen to it. Okay, Adam, no, it's mastermind and break. And yes, Paul apparently is definitely right. What would be my specialist subject for mastermind? Ooh, 19th century French antiques. Okay, so a safe cracker is somebody who opens safes by just listening and turning. To dash means to run very fast. To smash is to break. So a smash and grab. They smashed the window and grabbed as much jewellery as they can. But it's a prison break. Definitely. Yeah? Crack on with your work. That's a very good one as well. Yeah, crack on with it. I did it for the crack. I did it because it was funny. It was interesting. It made us all laugh. Okay, so this next one. The future president of Ireland was exercising in the yard at Lincoln Prison when he clocked, spotted, beheld, perceived his path to freedom, a door which led outside. Study every day, Shuban. Study vocabulary. So, what's interesting here? I think they probably all fit. So, to dash out, to run out. So, we've got a beheld from Cheyenne, a clocked from Count Beauty, a spotted from Vitaly. The criminal smashed the shop window and took all the jewels in the display case. Elizabeth goes for spotted. He was accused of bribery since he was a director of the prison where the break happened. Very good. Adam goes for spotted. Malem goes for spotted. Is the stream kill? I don't understand left or right. Abira goes for spotted. Nora goes for spotted. Kawar goes for perceived. Semblance, resemble, look similar to, but is not. Made to look similar. So his story had a semblance of truth, but it was a lie. Yeah? There were some things about it that were true. Pepax goes behold. Victor goes spotted. Renyard goes perceived. So let me look at these. Okay, they all fit. But the question here is formality. The most informal is clocked. The next informality is spotted. The next informality is perceived. And beheld is the most formal. VG goes in between spotted and perceived. That's very, very good, Victor Gabriel. Yes, because clocked is just far too informal. Did you clock that what that guy was doing? To clock, to see, to notice. But this is very, very informal English. And to behold an angel appeared. This is very, very, very formal. Beheld is more formal, definitely. So Chauvin goes for perceived. Okay, so let's read Pepax's quote. We wait for light but behold darkness. It's better to put light to light one candle than to curse the darkness. That's very good. So Pepax is now going for spotted and Chauvin for perceived, like a glance. So perceived might work, but I think it's a bit formal. To spot, to notice something. Yeah? Ethos is normally singular. His ethos is, he was clocked travelling at 90 miles per hour. Yeah? And the police clocked him before they measured his speed. Spotted. Spotted is the right answer. So can you spot the difference between these two pictures? Okay, yeah, clock sounds pretty good for air pilots. Spotted, because it was a quick action. Perceived is that's probably quite good, whereas to perceive is something slower and longer probably as well. But spotted, yeah, he spotted his main chance to escape from the prison. Okay, so clock that. Look at that. Very informal. Behold how beautiful this painting is. Yeah, it's too formal even for the news. Yeah, I perceive that you're a bit upset. I spotted that you were upset. Spotted is much better. So a military ship was, I think, probably spotted in open waters would be better there, Pepax. In that moment, he hatched, concocted, contrived, designed the simplest of plans to get a key and get out. This one is a good collocation. The exact coordinates were clocked. So 2 for hatched, 1 for contrived, 3 for hatch. So notice this one is a collocation with plan, to a plan. So Adam goes hatched and Nora goes contrived. I'll give a few more of to perceive, to notice, to comprehend, to understand. Yes, in one set of uses of perceive, yes. So Shaban goes contrived or hatched. Sherwin goes for hatched. Hatched is a very cute word. A chick hatches. That's the other meaning of to hatch. Hatched or designed. Hermione, you a girl? Well spotted. That's good. Good evening, Dorcake. Malem goes for hatched. Count goes for designed. Renyard goes for designed. Cheyenne goes for hatched. Okay, so let's look at these words. To concoct. To concoct a plan. You could concoct a plan, but it's a bit far-fetched. You invent it very suddenly out of the things that are available to you. But if you're concocting a plan, you're not really thinking about it. A concoction is a mixture of different things. He made a concoction of different medicines and then took it. Contrived, if you contrive, you're making something fit where it doesn't really fit very well. So one of students' problems is very often their English sounds contrived. It doesn't sound natural. To contrive is to bend things so that they actually fit in place. To design, well, a designer, I guess he could design a plan. But notice it's very simple as well, and design isn't the collocation. The designer designed a beautiful new dress. So, to hatch a plan. Okay, to hatch a plan. He hatched a plan, to think up a plan. Concocted, it's the second word. Here, okay, so, here, lots of different answers here. Contrive would work, but hatch a plan is a fixed expression. Contrive. If contrive would work, but it implies it's not a very good plan, and it did work. Perceptive of is to be understandable in some manner. That's very perceptive of you. You notice things very clearly. So he sketched out a plan, Pepax. So the answer is hatched. That takes time. Well, hatch out of thin air in that moment. Good. I like that bit. To concoct, to cook up with whatever's available. Yeah. And to contrive is to make something you've got fit. Yeah. Concocted is something from Harry Potter again. Yeah, they concoct a special powder for a magic spell. Yeah, I'm glad, Shaban. Unfortunately, we're just about over. In a moment, he hatched the simplest of plans to get a key and get out. He delineated the plan. I think delineate also gives more the idea of he explained it to his mates. Here he probably just hatched it in his mind. Hatch a plan, to make a secret plan, do something that is usually illegal or harmful. They hatched a plot to steal the famous painting. Cook up, to invent, yeah. He cooked up a plan. So, Victor Gabriel, have you ever been to school and you arrive late without your homework and you cook up an excuse? To concoct a special potion, yeah. To concoct a concoction, yeah, is putting different things together to make something weird. But to hatch a plan is the answer. Okay, and I'm going to put a mark here because this is enough for me. You contrive a plot, but hatch a plan. You can also hatch a plan, yeah? But for me, if something's contrived, it doesn't fit very well. A lot of English jokes are based on puns, which are very contrived. So, I'm going to stop here. I want to see if I've got yes, I have got the link. So, my dog ate it. Yeah, that's a contrived excuse that you just cooked up. So this is the link to this article. As you see as well, it's from the BBC. So thank you all for coming. You've been a great group. I will be back next week, inshallah, God willing, and I want you all to stay safe. He says it's a mark, but they're really kisses. That's a contrived excuse. My friend cooked up the story that her dog had eaten her homework. That's perfect, Victor Gabriel. That's how I would use it. So thank you all so much for coming. Thank you for your constant support. You're a wonderful lot because you always seem to come again and again. To be able to participate in this exercise, you need to have a high level. So thank you, VG, thanks Adam, thanks Vitaly, thanks Victor, thanks Count, thanks Nora, thanks Samura, thanks Pepax, thanks Maria, thanks Elizabeth, thank you Vibes, thank you Cheyenne, and there are many more of you that I haven't thanked, but thank you all for coming. It's been brilliant. So let me see if I can turn it off properly this time. Thank you very much, and by it says stop streaming. Great to be here, great to have you. Thank you. I've never been a teacher in a real